Good morning, Turdville. Mr. Fix here. I just wanted to catch up on some old stuff. I haven't looked at any current events for today. Um, let's see. What is today? Well, it's Friday the 20th. And just want to catch up on some of the things that have been posted this week, over the week, and some of the conclusions that I've drawn in that particular time frame. I was up most of the night last night going through the rest of the secret space program in that convention. I want to thank Karen Kagwa, and I hope I said that right, about with the post that you did. I wasn't even aware that there was a convention, and man, it was good. I mean, just one speaker after another, and then that round table. It just blew me away. I even went over some of the material because it was like I got to get this, particularly Joseph Farrell, which was like, wow. I've watched news and views from the Nefarium in the past. I think I've even posted a few of his videos, and it was like, I put him in the group of people that do commentary every day, and didn't realize just how well researched he is. I mean, that was mind-boggling. When he went into his description on how the Nazi bell worked, the actual science, the actual materials and configurations and everything, and how it all worked, that just blew me away. That was almost like, getting really close to the holy grail of something that I've been looking for a long time. I've often said that this whole anti-gravity and free energy thing are very closely related because just drawing from the ether, the 0 point field, or whatever name you want to apply to it, um, you're collecting the very stuff that actually holds us down to the ground. And by doing that, you're eliminating its ability to hold us down. So hence you've got anti-gravity, and that's basically how these spaceships work. Okay, and it's also something, as I've had great interest in. I had mentioned that I watched those videos last night and kind of fell asleep with the headphones on and the computer playing. And when I woke up, George Norrie was on with another guest about the same topic, more or less, the secret space program. And I posted it early this morning because I said, "Whoa, this is actually pretty good." And I don't usually listen to Coast to Coast. I think uh, I've got my opinion of George Norrie, and ever since John B. Wells left the program, it was like Toodles. I don't really focus on so much, but it was a great show. While I was listening to it, I read the comment section, and you got to see it. It was funny. You just go back and click on the link because it was like the same stuff that happens on Dots was happening in the comment section on YouTube after that video. He's a guy that's been researching for 25 years. He sits down, he's having a conversation with George Norrie, and he's pissed everyone off, basically, because you've got all of the religionists, and that's what we'll call them, the ones that have, believe in the biblical dogma, saying that this guy is just kind of crazy heretic. He's, preaching Satanism and all of this evil stuff. And, they just hate him. And then you've got all of the ones, the science guys, that really believe in evolution, and they've got the official narrative of how we all got there. They hate him too. They're like, this guy's a complete whack job. And I started to realize how you either bought a complete package deal narrative, okay, on the religion side, or you've bought a complete package deal narrative on the science side, okay. First off, they're both bogus, but they both firmly, firmly, firmly believe that what they've been taught is the truth, okay. And they're so firmly entrenched in those beliefs that they'll just tune out anything that conflicts with it. Now, that is a really hard roadblock to get past, okay? And I see it on the forums. I see it all the time where the name calling starts. It's happened to me. It's happened to a few of my friends. I mean, let's face it. I don't have to go more name dropping, but the last hullabaloo with Green Lantern, the way I saw it, he was just speaking his truth. Talking different ideologies and perspectives on the gays and the rights in the Constitution and life and death and all of these different. How do you view the consciousness of the universe? Do you, call it God? How does all that work? And you start explaining it, and a whole bunch of people get pissed off. I mean, it's like, well, then why are you here? Okay. I mean, if you're on dots, you're gonna have to like, you know, stretch your mind just a little bit, and not be so judgmental. Just watching that comment section on YouTube was actually hysterical because it's like, oh, where have I seen this before? It's the same thing. Um, and sprinkled in there somewhere was a few like, yeah, at least somebody's telling the truth. That's a rare thing, So you've got a few people there that are saying, okay, to the best of my knowledge, just about everything, this guy got it, okay? And that was a very good conversation. Now, he got it from a perspective of ancient Indian culture. And he talked about a lot of the different researchers where they come from different perspectives. Like, I know Michael Tessarion, he's doing mostly Nordic and the Celtics, okay? And they've got their own legends that go back to, predate history. And you got Zachariah Sitchins, who's doing the Sumerian texts and working from there. You've got David Icke, who just a hodgepodge of all different information from all over the world. But they all, a lot of them seem to focus on an area of expertise. The guest that was on George Norrie's show was coming, mainly from ancient India. There's others that focus, almost solely on ancient Egyptian texts, But then they were saying that when you pull it all together, and this is the common denominator, they all tell the same story. Okay, they all change the names. Okay, and just a few trivialities, but the story doesn't change. And these are all blown off as mythology, and yet how can all of these different cultures spread out all over the globe that supposedly never had contact with each other, prior to the last 1,000 years, have written the exact same stories, 4 or 5 thousand years ago? That's an interesting, situation, which you can't deny. It doesn't add up with the official narrative. Neither does the archaeology. You've got all the photographic evidence. You've got all of the, people that dig things up. And then you go into the DNA evidence, which is really being uncovered now. It's saying that, the official version of things just doesn't add up. So, at any rate, you know, that I've come down on, a particular story. All right, it's just like the author in the latest Coast to Coast. It's my research over the last couple of years. It's the way I see it. It's the way it adds up and makes sense to me. Okay. Um, like I had said yesterday in a video, I kind of had to blow off dogma, or the official version of things from this camp or this camp. Okay. Because that's not where the truth is. Neither one of them add up. The evidence contradicts them both wildly. Right? And they're both fighting with each other, and they've both got this package deal. It's just like politics with the left versus the right, screaming at each other, and you either buy this package or this package. It's the same thing in archaeology. It's the same thing in science. It's the same thing in history. It's the same thing across the board. Okay, all of these camps are well established. You've got basically opposition and controlled opposition, battling it out. And you've got the same thing with the national boundaries. People have got to get past this. All right, we've been sold a bill of goods that the evidence doesn't back it up. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And I've made plenty of my own observations, both in study and in my own experiments, that I've got a very definite view now of how this is all fitting together. And I don't mind talking about it, but please keep there's people that are all pissed off that Dots is now not what it used to be. Well, yeah, it used to just have posts, basically ripped off somebody else's website, and it was a good place to go find information. then it has turned into somewhat of a discussion group. It has had, people come and they ask questions and get answers and things like that. I think it's more productive. That's just my opinion. It also seems to be more popular. So it's not just my opinion. Um, you know, let the chips fall where they may. Anyway, that's my 10 minutes for today. I want to say, have a nice weekend. I'm going to be coming up with something that's a little bit better than what I'm doing right now. With a little more research. Like I did nothing in the last couple of days but watch stupid YouTube videos, and I even quote a little bit of that thread of faith there, thinking that having a discussion about me, how I base my entire philosophy on YouTube videos. Well, okay, I can see where that opinion was reached. I do understand that point of view, but that's not where I'm going. I actually look for this stuff. It's almost like, well, I'm so gullible, I'll just take whatever's on YouTube and buy it. No, that's not how this has been working. Not at all. It has to be consistent with a narrative that I've been constructing, okay? And digging into the facts and figuring out, does it really add up, make sense, all that stuff, and yeah, to a certain extent, I am, cherry picking, but it's all coalescing now into a picture that does actually work. Okay, so I'm not doing so much cherry picking these days. I'm doing a lot more just like figuring out how to articulate this, figuring out new ways of expressing it, and figuring out how to get it at the gut level. Okay, as opposed to just head knowledge, and getting it at the gut level is entirely different things. And that's just where I'm at today. All right. So, you know, when my daughter's around this weekend and I'm around this weekend and we're not both working, we're going to sit down at the computer and we're going to figure out how to upload videos, and we're going to figure out how to decorate them with text and writing and things like that. This computer does some amazing things. I just got to figure out how. And, maybe I'll turn this into something a little better than it is right now. But in the meantime, I'm all you got. Or this is all you get. All right. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you soon.